Daniel will remember this because we went out after the Odessa show, but there was uh, a time back in the fall of 2017 when I was first kind of starting my music blog where I was just doing phone interviews and writing articles.
Hmm.
Odessa at the is it the United Theater in Chicago?
United
Yeah,
Center.
The
no, wasn't
UIC
it?
or United
It was at the
Center?
USC Pavilion.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh yeah.
UFC Pavilion. That was the first show that I ever got an all access pass to cover where you could walk around backstage, you could go in the photo
Oh,
pit, take
dope.
photos, shit like that. So I showed up with my camera and I took some pretty dope pictures. I'm not a photographer at all, but just being at that show and seeing the artists backstage before they go on, just kind of being a fly on the wall, and then literally looking up. There's one moment I remember where I'm literally looking up at Naomi Wild singing "Higher Ground," and
Oh,
I started to cry. Like I literally was like,
Oh
"This is the most
man.
beautiful moment of my fucking life."
Wow.
I
that's
love this song.
awesome.
Like if I wanted to just like sweep her leg and like trip her off stage, I could
Yeah.
have done it.
Yeah.
But in that was like one of the most transformational moments in my life where I was like, I'm not gifted in making music, but I want to do whatever I can to be around it and to be around artists and to be around the concert experience.
I think that's so dope. Like the passion that we could I mean we could tell you a passion. Honestly, like I heard about you like a couple years ago and then your name just kept popping up and like no once we started this music thing he told me that you reached out to him and I'm like yeah dude like of course we want to be on his that'd be awesome so we can definitely
Yeah.
tell that your passions are and we love that.
And you got to
Y-
know Naomi Wild like outside of that too. You got to like meet her actually, right? And like hang out with her.
Yeah, yeah. There are a couple times where we were in the same city for a little bit.
I'm
That's
Um,
dope.
jealous.
but
I'm so jealous.
there are it's crazy how the connections happen with music. Like I did a podcast with Louis Vuitton probably almost a year ago now,
Damn.
and I just met him really briefly at Odessa because he was the first opener. I think it was Louis
Right.
Vuitton and then Sophie Tucker,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so I didn't like exchange anything with him then, but I told him during the podcast I was like I just want to let you know I saw you open 2 years ago and you're fucking dope and you probably don't remember me and said hi and like he was just being nice, but like that connection I would have never thought at that time I would have been talking to him 2 years
Yeah.
later, and now just like all the crossover between managers and artists in the music industry, it's crazy how that shit happens.
I agree. He's great too. I've seen him in concert a couple times.
Yeah, and the live covers that he puts together. I saw one recently that he did with Grizz, but he puts these covers together in real time and he'll do it on the tour bus or he'll do it in his studio. And he's probably put out some
Right.
recently. I just haven't checked it out
I
yet. But
think I
I'm
know what
sure.
you're talking about. Yeah, like those he used to make those videos which now if he would have like made them on like TikTok or something like right when it was coming out, he would have been I think that those videos would have been huge actually.
Yeah, Louis Vuitton needs to get on TikTok now. He should
He
upload
should.
Yeah.
some of those old videos would slap on TikTok.
I agree totally.
So this is a question I was wondering for you from the artist side. So if you think about music as a practice where you're going to get better, for example, if a piano player wants to get better, one of the practices they do is scales, where you'll
Right.
just play the same scales over and over again until it's unconscious. So it's going to be different for both of you. So I'll ask Jeremy this time first, as a lyricist and as a rapper, what are some of the things that you practice that would be comparable to a piano player practicing scales that help you get better at rap?
It's a good
That's
question. I
these
like that
questions are
question.
great.
Yeah.
Geez, I think a lot of it just has to do with if I start to think of something right away, I want to get it down and write it down right away. Because as soon as I lose that, sometimes it's hard for me to go back. And if I think of something like when Daniel will have a beat playing and I'll just be kind of chilling and listening, next thing you know, like I'm sitting down and I'm writing and putting something down on on paper. And it may not sound good, 10 minutes later, but at least I can start and get the creative juices flowing, and then I'll come back and I'll think, okay, from what I have, like what sort of direction can I go to make this better? So I never ever, unless it really clicks, I never stick with the original style or lyrics that I write. I always write it down, what I have in my head, and then I'll come back and I'll say, okay, how can I make this sound better? But honestly, the lyric part of it for me was something that I didn't even know that I could do. It was just like one day we were making songs together, and then, I put something down and I showed it to Daniel. He's like, well, dude, that's like really good. And so it's just something that I didn't even
naturally gifted.
I mean, it's just something that I never would have even thought of doing if it wasn't for, honestly, our roommate and Daniel, because they started it. So, I mean, it's just continue to build upon what I have in my head originally, and don't settle for what I have written down right away.
I've been trying to get him to freestyle more for practice.
No, he gets mad at me.
Make like beats, like on the fly, and like just.
That would be sick, having like freestyle quarantine sessions. That'd be
I agree. Do like live videos of him freestyling.
I've seen some rappers do live streams where they just have people drop in topics, and then if they see a topic they like, they'll just start freestyling on the live stream. I feel like that would be pretty cool.
What are you doing?
I mean, that would be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like not the best freestyler, and I know Daniel's just gonna say you just gotta practice more. Which I do.
You should.
But I think like for me, when it comes to writing lyrics, I want to really, really, I want people to relate to it and what I'm writing. So when I'm thinking of songs and making lyrics, I can really dig deeper into like my mental psyche with that, and what the song and the vibe is making me feel when I actually take the time to write it down. And then I know freestyling can help with the creativity part of it, but as far as lyrics go and making it like resonate with people, I do such a better job when I actually like take the time to write it down.
I don't know if this would work for freestyling, but the live stream where people are dropping in topics reminded me of a joke that Dave Chappelle told in one of his recent specials. He said he kind of keeps some fishbowl in his house with a bunch of punchlines, and he'll just reach in and grab out a punchline. And I think the punchline from the special is something along the lines of, and then I kicked her in the dick, or something like that. And so he had to write a joke for that punchline, and it was just random, whatever one he pulled out. So then he wrote 100 different jokes to that one punchline. If you had something that was just topics for lyrics that you just picked out of a fishbowl, and then you had to write 4 lines about it or something like that.
That's actually a really good idea. Maybe Daniel can put those in a bowl for me, because if I do it myself,
we've done random word generator before.
Oh yeah, we have done that before.
That's something, but I think we could step it up a little bit.
Yeah. So Daniel, for you, same question. If you think about a pianist practicing scales, what is something from the production side where you can just drill into your head, or you work on the same repetitive thing to where you're just unconscious about it, like you can do it in your sleep?
I think first of all, I do try to get better at instruments still. Going to be buying like a drum pad soon, and like want to get really, really down with like that, and also getting better at piano. But I think the biggest thing that any producer works on really hard is sound design. When it comes to the software plugins that you have, like you have to really know them in and out to get the kind of sounds that you want to deliver into your music. And so it takes like just like Microsoft Word or Microsoft PowerPoint like really well, to like a way greater degree.
I wish I didn't. I wish I could take Excel out of my brain now that I don't use it anymore.
Me too. No, I totally feel that. You just have to get to that same level with software plugins as a producer, so you can really understand how to like get the right kind of sound that you're going for.
Yeah.
So I try to continuously like figure out also if there's other instruments or other software plugins that we need, because there's a million out there, and as a producer, it can be really daunting to know what you really need to get to like really get your vision on paper,